In the heart of ancient Crete, beneath the Mediterranean sun, stands the sprawling palace of Knossos, a place where myth and history blend together, and where, over a century ago, a remarkable discovery would captivate the imaginations of scholars and visitors alike. Amid these sun-dappled ruins, there emerges from weathered stone and flaking walls a single enigmatic image, the Lily Prince, also known as the Priest King. Painted in vibrant hues that have endured more than 3,000 years, this fresco draws us in, not only with its beauty, but with an enduring mystery that has puzzled experts for generations. The story of the Lily Prince begins at the turn of the 20th century, when British archaeologist Sir Arthur Evans arrived on Crete, intent on uncovering the secrets of the legendary labyrinth. For years, rumors had persisted about a great palace hidden beneath the earth, a place immortalized by the myth of the Minotaur. With determined hands and the help of local workers, Evans brushed away centuries of dust to reveal the monumental remains of the Minoan civilization, a culture that thrived long before Athens raised its Parthenon, before Sparta marched to war. As Evans and his team delved deeper into the ruined halls of Knossos, they found not only labyrinthine passages and royal chambers, but also a treasure trove of painted plaster. These frescoes depicted lively processions, athletic feats, and ritual scenes, a world awash in color and movement. Among the most intriguing of these images was a series of battered plaster fragments, each adorned with traces of bold reds, blues, and yellows. With painstaking effort, the fragments were removed, catalogued, and gradually fitted together like a jigsaw puzzle whose picture had been scattered by the centuries. From this painstaking process emerged the Lily Prince, a regal, striding figure, crowned with lilies, their blossoms signifying purity and divinity in the Minoan world. He, or perhaps she, was reconstructed in the workshop of the procession, assembled from scattered remains found across several rooms. The result was an arresting image, a slender torso with muscular arms, adorned with a necklace and a striking headdress of lilies, stepping forward in a moment frozen forever. Yet, from the very beginning, controversy shadowed this reconstruction. Many of the fragments were incomplete, a curve of shoulder here, a hint of jawline there, a piece of floral crown somewhere else. The lower body was especially problematic, composed of fragments that might not have originally belonged to the upper torso at all. Even the lilies, that iconic crown, were discovered apart from the body, their connection to the figure speculative at best. Nevertheless, Evans and his restorers fit them together, driven by a vision of a powerful priest or king, a figure who, in Evans's own mind, must have ruled over Knossos with divine favor. Scholars have long debated the accuracy of this reconstruction. Some point out that the arm seems awkwardly positioned, that the textures of the plaster do not quite match, and that the lilies could as easily have adorned another figure entirely. Critics argue that the so-called Lily Prince is less a faithful restoration and more a composite, a modern attempt to bring order to ancient chaos, perhaps colored by the assumptions and desires of early 20th century archaeology. Others have sought alternative explanations for the fragments. Perhaps they originally depicted 2 or even 3 individuals, part of a grand procession, or a ritual tableau stretching across the corridor's walls. Some suggest that the lilies and necklace could mean the figure is female, invoking the rich tradition of Minoan art that depicted women in ceremonial roles, elaborately coiffed, gorgeously attired, exuding a sense of grace and authority. The muscularity of the reconstructed torso, they argue, could have belonged to a goddess or high priestess rather than a male ruler. The uncertainty is further deepened by the highly stylized, dangerous, sanit nature of Minoan art itself, in which figures often blur the boundaries between male and female, mortal and divine. In the frescoes of Knossos, lithe youths leap over charging bulls, and processions wind their way through sacred spaces, each figure rendered in brilliant color, but rarely with unambiguous identity. No inscription accompanies the Lily Prince to clarify his or her role, and the face, so central to our understanding, remains largely absent, lost to time and decay. Modern research, equipped with cutting-edge technology, continues to revisit the puzzle. Three-dimensional scanning and digital analysis permit a closer examination of the plaster's origins, pigment composition, and surface textures. Experts scrutinize the edges of each fragment, seeking out telltale join marks or traces of adjoining scenes. Some findings lend weight to the idea that the figure is indeed a composite, a reconstructed ideal, rather than a faithful copy of a single ancient painting. Others point to new parallels among Minoan artifacts, seals, statuettes, and jewelry that hint at the religious or ceremonial importance of lilies and processional imagery. If the identity of the Lily Prince remains elusive, the fresco nevertheless serves as a potent symbol of Minoan creativity and complexity. Whether he represents a human ruler, a priestess, or a deity is less important than the insight the fresco provides into a society where art, ritual, and political authority were profoundly intertwined. In Minoan Knossos, walls did more than separate rooms. They proclaimed stories, celebrated life, and honored the mysteries of the natural and divine worlds. Evans himself was influenced by the prevailing views of his age, when great men were seen as the shapers of history, and the spiritual world was sharply divided along gender lines. But subsequent generations of scholars now recognize the multiplicity and fluidity of Minoan identity. The Lily Prince thus stands not just as an object of ancient reverence or royal power, but as a challenge. To approach the past with open eyes, acknowledging both the evidence and our own interpretive limits. As the sun sets over the ruins of Knossos, the Lily Prince lingers not only on the palace walls, but in the questions that echo down the centuries. Is the fresco a relic of a forgotten king or a priestess, a goddess or a god, or simply the palimpsest of history itself, shaped and reshaped by the hands that uncover it? Even as new discoveries shed light on Minoan society, the Lily Prince remains an abiding riddle, inspiring wonder and debate in equal measure. In the end, perhaps the greatest lesson of the Lily Prince is not in the solution to his mystery, but in the journey itself, the excitement of uncovering the past, the humility of confronting ambiguity, and the realization that some questions are destined to endure, sparking our curiosity anew with every generation.